All right. Captain Troy Handsome of International Rescue, please state the nature of your emergency. Here with Bralef and the Coffee Lich as we go through Candela Obscura Halloween one shot for this year for 2024. I guess I'll ask again. How are you both doing today?
Still doing good.
Doing good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. All right. I guess as a brief introduction to how a Candela Obscura assignment typically plays out. So normally there's something called a hook, and then there's something called like the arrival. And typically what will happen is I believe if I remember correctly, the arrival has you starting at the scene of the crime. It really like jumps you in. You start there. There might be like a flashback to what is known as the calling, where you first are like summoned essentially. However that might be, whether you're like contacted specifically by someone or you meet at a central location. But today we are going to kind of in our transition from our classic 5th edition over to Candela Obscura, we are going to start with the hook, but then we are going to jump into the calling, kind of like how in D&D and other TTRPGs where you start in like a central location and get given your quest or sent to a quest giver, and then we will proceed with the investigation as normal. So let me read off something to you all real quick. And let me go ahead and toggle our tavern background so that everyone at home can see. I've got the logo up for the game. We are using Roll20 once again. And let me just pull this up and we'll get started. A woman with long brown hair freezes in place, looking up at the ramshackle wooden house in front of her as it is engulfed in flames. She hears a scraping against wood, and she turns and runs down the block. She collides with a uniformed man, complete with holstered handgun and helmet strapped to his head. "Sir, please help! My friend's house!" The man looks down the block, scoffing and shaking his head at the raging inferno. "It's too late for her now, ma'am." He pats the flashlight at his waist. "Guess she should have upgraded." The scraping noise returns, this time not against wood, but against cobblestone. The woman screams and flees as rain begins to fall. "No need to run, missy," the man calls out. "What in the..." he cries. The rain falls harder. The scraping noise returns, this time muffled against the mud. And that wraps up for today's hook. Let me go ahead and explain to you all where you will find yourself now. And let me swap over the map and double check what music I should be switching to. I think I will keep this for now. Let me take you to the new map. All right, a little bit of exposition. And let me actually paste the hook into chat. Do you require it in Roll20 as well?
Did you say that you're posting it directly into the chat?
I'm posting it directly in Twitch chat for now, but let me know if you need it in Roll20 chat also.
It might be a good idea to put it in Roll20 just so we can more easily pull it up later if need be.
Okay. Let me post this in here. All right. Actually, no, I will switch out the music. Give me just a moment. We should have a DJ for stuff like this, to be like, all right, time to, I feel like I need to be 3 people at the same time.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. have one that's perfect. All right, let me describe some things for you all. Okay, so I apologize. A little bit of exposition before we get underway, as the setting for Candela Obscura is a little bit different than we're familiar with. So, the harbor of New Fair is a keystone of trade and commerce for the entire country of Hale. So you're in the country called Hale, and then New Fair, the capital, that's where you're at. And accounts for a major portion of the valley's incoming wealth. Paste this in here. I'll paste the full description in Roll20 afterwards. You find yourselves right at the boundary between two key areas of the harbor. The first is the Halen Navy Shipyard. It is here that the Halen armed forces keep their naval vessels in ship shape, ready to defend the coast at a moment's notice. But it is also here that some of the rowdiest parties occur, held aboard the ships at rates higher than your own pay grades, under the guise of raising money for the defense of the Fairlands. You are also next to the Glass Sea docks, watched over by Grint Barrows, a harbor master with an iron fist who doesn't say no to a little financial incentive. Their rates, though, keep going up every season. Let me go ahead and paste this for you all here. That is it for the exposition. Let me go ahead and give you a little picture of what is happening here at the scene. Once again, this map is really more for vibes than it is for actual navigatable terrain. But planks of wood cover smashed windows, and several buckets are placed around the interior to catch stray drips. You do catch a faint shimmer along the wood used to cover the smashed windows, the wood otherwise appearing as if it has seen 3 lifetimes of use. Various lit candles litter the establishment, most in jars of different shapes and sizes, but a few resting in candlesticks, no 2 of which are matching. As expected, there is a hint of brine in the air, despite the best efforts of the lit candles, which result in a confusing and nearly off-putting mix of lavender, strawberries, and fish in the air. A kindly older gentleman with a bushy white mustache, white hair, and round glasses resting peacefully on the end of his nose is busy polishing glasses behind the bar. He has just popped in through a heavy velvet curtain, behind which you can see an additional heavy velvet curtain, both shimmering and sparkling. You won't find those at your average St. Michael's store in the Anchor Fall shops. Sorry for the wait, gentlemen, he beams. What can I do you for before your benefactor arrives? He gestures broadly towards the bevy of heavy drinks behind him on the counter. It's at this point that I would actually like to ask you both to perhaps give us a little introduction, physical description of your characters as you are here at this central location.
All right. I'm playing as Giles, and I just realized I forgot to settle on a last name for him, but it's not important. Sort of the same character I played last week, but in a different setting now. He's a tall guy, broad shoulders, brown beard, but instead of his armor getup and the icon there, he's actually dressed more like a dock worker. He's got like a gray beanie, suspenders, work boots, that kind of thing.
Okay. Thank you for the description. Anything else we move before we turn over to the Coffee Lich?
I think that's about it.
All right. And then over to you, Coffee.
I am playing as Reginald Hammersmith. He's a he's like 5'5" ish, thin, kind of wiry looking guy. He wears a tailored dark green suit with a bright red bow tie and a black bowler cap. He carries a decorative cane with a gold head with him at all times. And he has small round lens glasses as well, and a well-kept and well-groomed, but fairly bushy mustache.
Nice. I cannot get over the wonderfulness of a nice cane with a gold tip. I look forward to the next time I get to go to a Renaissance fair near me that has a store that sells just canes and umbrellas, some of which have blades in them. You have to sign a special waiver to buy those. All right, thank you both for the descriptions. So yes, he has his arms spread wide. There are a lot of drinks on offer here. An aspect that I think I spent perhaps too much time on. Is there a particular drink you like to get, or would you like to ask for ask for a menu and I can list off the names for you?
I'm gonna use a random drink generator.
If you want to randomize it, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 12. If you want to roll a d12, not that we use d12s a lot in this game, if at all, I can give you a random one from here, a D or a 4. So, how are you randomizing this? Are you like just closing your eyes and randomly picking from the menu? Are you telling him surprise you? Are you playing darts with the menu? You wouldn't be the first patron to do that at this establishment.
I was rolling out of universe to decide what guy I was going to select in universe. I think he's already made up his mind.
Okay. Well, the bartender, who you will know as Earn Mass, knows your order already, and will go ahead and slide you a green phosphorescent drink. It does look like it's a little viscous. And he says, your usual?
Yeah, that one.
My favorite of all the alcoholic spirits, radioactive sludge.
All right. Would you like to drink it now, or do you want to wait for your circle member to also order a drink?
I'll probably start drinking.
All right. Well, I will tell you what happens to you in just a moment, but let's go ahead over to Reginald. Would you like to look at the menu? Is there a kind of vibe you're looking for your drink? Or would you also like to leave it up to chance and roll a d12?
Reginald looks over the menu for about a minute and then fairly sheepishly asks, my good man, do you happen to have buttermilk? My stomach is a wee bit upset.
That I do. I can definitely serve you up a bit of buttermilk. It's here on this seasonal menu. Think of it like this. Have you heard of bar shucks and how they have like some things in rotation most of the time, but like sometimes they don't have things in, yes, I do have what you're looking for. I remember seeing this in this PDF file. Let me just go ahead and control F right over here. Aha!
What's a PDF file?
I'm not sure myself. Looks like the sickness has taken over me again. All right. Yes, I can get you this over here. And he will go ahead and turn around. He will pull on the tap. And what was the name of the drink specifically that you were looking for? Milk or buttermilk?
Buttermilk.
Buttermilk. Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you looking more for something that is milky or more for something that is like the alcoholic beverage with a buttery consistency from that franchise that I choose not to support?
I don't know what you're referencing.
Butterbeer from Harry Potter.
No, I was just looking for buttermilk.
Milk. Okay. Buttermilk it is. Okay. He'll pour you 2 cups and I'll let you decide which one you want. One is like straight up white. The other one looks like it is diluted skim milk.
Guess I'll take the one that is just straight up white.
Okay.
I don't know much about buttermilk. All I know is that I'm fairly certain that skim milk is going the exact opposite direction of it.
Also pretty sure buttermilk is like usually a darker color, right?
According to what I'm seeing on Google Images, it seems to be, generally speaking, basically the same color as milk.
Okay, yeah, I guess you're right. Take a
Don't
glass
like
of
it.
buttermilk. Hold the milk.
Okay.
Could I get a glass of warm water and a stick of butter, please?
Okay. Sorry, give me a moment. I'm trying to figure out which of my existing 9 of the 12 drinks to associate with your new milk drink.
I'm big. I like that you keep saying milk drink, like as if I've invented this thing. Like
Milk
buttermilk is a real thing from real life.
milk drink allows me to be, you know how like Breyers is not actually ice cream, it is a frozen like treat or whatever. I'll defer to Ida on the distinction because of I don't remember what it was, sugar or fat or milk content, but they can't call it ice cream. It's kind of like that.
So when I asked him if he has buttermilk and he said yes, that was a lie. This is what I'm hearing now.
He's just trying to play it safe, and he is saying that he's handing you a milk drink.
I legally can't say that I have buttermilk, but I won't say that I don't.
Okay, sorry, still trying to figure out which one to associate with this with, because like milk gives you strong bones, right? Okay, I think I know what to do. I'm going to associate with my existing drink, Dark Miner, and of course, I'll explain in a bit. So, Giles, right, with a hard G. Okay, you successfully down your glow grog, made from glowing mushrooms. You have, in addition to the drive that was granted to you by our chat, an extra sense drive that you can use on the next sense roll that you make. Or I guess a future sense roll that you make.
Cool. I'll try to remember that.
Yes, I'm not exactly sure where to put it. I thought of the idea of having the drinks grant because 9 of the 12 drinks grant you a drive of some sort. And as such, because of the order of the buttermilk, I will grant you the effects of the Dark Miner beverage, which is you gain an extra strike drive. So the next time you need to shove someone through 4 walls, you get an extra D6 to try that.
Guess we should have swapped drinks. Damn.
It's good to cover your bases.
Yeah, fair.
All right. I hope you enjoy your drinks. Let me just list off the menu for chat and for you, just so you can hear the other things that could have been on there. And also, if you want to order another beverage, I won't say no. So on the menu,
I'll drink one of everything and become invincible.
would be the second player of mine the past 2 months who did something like that. All right. On the menu, you have Ghostfire Brandy, Dark Miner, Slog, Glow Grog, Ascendant Sip. And as a quick reminder and as a quick lesson, the religious people are called like the Ascendancy. And so this one is named for them, the Ascendance Sip. Old Fair Funk, that is the diluted skim milk beverage. Pyro Wine, Squid Ink, my personal favorite. South Soffit Stars. South Soffit is like that middle area on the map that I'll show you all in a bit. Lover's Kiss, Sea Shanty, and Eye of Newt. So as a reminder, Bralef ordered the Glow Grog, and I am granting for the Coffee Lich the Dark Miner effects.
And the Dark Miner effects you said was just plus I get 1 strike drive.
Yes. It is not an in-game mechanic. It's just me giving you an extra drive in one of the 9 like actions that you have.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
So okay.
Yeah, think of it like I'm giving you Dagger Heart Advantage or a D6 Bardic Inspiration die. Let me just post this in chat so they can appreciate the drinks. All right. Any last things before I progress the scene?
Nope.
No.
Okay. I'll put them up here. Shortly after the arrival of your drinks, your Lightkeeper arrives, firmly but quietly shutting the wooden door behind him. His dark hair is tightly pulled back, tied low behind his neck. He is wearing a velvety red outfit with golden accents, his left hand bare, but his right hand wearing a thick brown glove. He leans his own cane against the bar, ordering a dark miner from Urnmass. He speaks to you both. Thank you both for coming. Normally, as your Lightkeeper has said, you would start your assignment right at the scene, getting things rolling, just the way I like 'em. The young'uns would gather up all the info, you'd look over the file, and be on your way. But your client today, she insisted she provide info to the investigators, that's you, directly. A bit more work, but the rich types insist on their way sometimes. Your client today is Krista Vistiella. Be professional. Don't ask her to sign a copy of her book. And with that, he has finished his dialogue, opening the door for the both of you.
Krista Vistiello, you said?
Yep, Krista Vistiella. I'll get that posted into Roll20 eventually.
What is she, some famous author?
More like one of them up-and-coming types. I'm not much of a reader myself these days, he says, gesturing at his eye. But all the young'uns seem to love her work.
I love the idea that when he lost one of his eyes, he suddenly can't read anymore.
I feel like
It might have gotten more difficult. Like, it might strain the eye a bit more.
I suppose.
Would it be too much to ask for us to each get, like, a notepad sort of handout? There aren't actually spots for us to write down notes.
Oh,
on this.
like in Roll20. Sure, yeah. Let me go ahead and paste this into Roll20 for you all. And let me go ahead. Yeah, pull out some hands
for an investigation game. Anyway.
All right. I think I have one for Bralef. We'll go ahead and add one for you. Okay. We'll work with this. It's a little tricky, but I appreciate your patience.
Darius notepad for coffee. All right.
All right. But yes, if you have any, as you're familiarizing yourselves with these mysterious notes of which I do not know how to use myself, feel free to look over this description again now that I've posted it into Roll20.
Oh.
If there's any questions you have before he continues speaking, there's like that lull in conversation that for some people I know is difficult to ascertain, especially for those of us who are neurodivergent, of which I am one of them. So yeah, this is like that pause, that lull in the conversation. Time has slowed down. It's like a quick time event, but instead of quick, it's like medium length. It's a medium time event. So if there's anything you'd like to say, you can, but otherwise we'll keep talking.
I punched the Lightkeeper. No.
Wait, do you mean me or do you mean him?
Grow up, lightning.
Well, no.
Ooh, Krista Vistiella. I love her book. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Where is she?
Oh, right. I'll answer your questions in order. Right. Her book is all the rage, even though I don't have a copy myself. I know it's about some girl raised in the wild by, like, wolves or something before reclaiming her rightful throne. As for where she is, you'll need to meet up with Krista over at the Aventine Opera House in the Eaves. Let me paste this right here. With all the mansions up there, I know many an investigator who wouldn't mind having a chapter house in the Eaves. You're in luck, though, investigators. I procured some special papers for the both of you. You'll need to fill out the reason you're there in Rich People Land yourselves, but think of it as a blank check. Now you can use the conveyor without getting accosted by the periphery. He begins to ramble a little. Back in my day, of course, the best way up to the Eaves was covertly scaling the ruins of Old Fair. I'm sure some of those routes are still solid. Ever heard of parkour? Granny Donnie swears by walking up the ancient ramps, high steps, though. You won't catch me doing that anytime soon. He chuckles and pats his leg, which looks like a normal leg.
I want him to just, like, piece by piece reveal that every single part of his body has been replaced with a prosthetic. Like, the only original things on his body are, like, everything on his head except for one eye. Everything else has been, like, lost or replaced.
That's right. Some people call me an android. Other people call me a monster. All right, let me go ahead and paste this.
My parents just call me, hey, you.
All right, I've gone ahead and posted basically what he said. The book is about some girl raised in the wild. You'll need to meet her at the Aventine Opera House. He's handed you some special papers. Now, for those of you at home and also here who might not have like seen everything about the character sheets, some of the classes do have access to these special gear items. For example, the face journalist has press credentials. There's a scholar doctor who has doctor's credentials. There's like another forged documents from the Slink detective. So if this were a longer investigation, a longer assignment, I would probably have you find your way up to the eaves yourselves. But because this is a shorter assignment and we're ready to get right into the thick of things, right in the thick of it, he's gone ahead and handed you this blank check, but you have to fill it out with something. As a reminder, the eaves, rich people land. Some people go to work at the eaves, you know, they're like, oh, we are a housekeeping staff for rich person so-and-so. We work at the Aventine Opera House. We work at, we clean the streets, something like that. So, all you got to do is fill something out and we'll get you over to the eaves post haste. Think of it like a little homework situation. Like, you're like sitting in class, you see like school desks in front of you. It's like, all right, what would you say? What would you hand the periphery, which is basically the police force for New Fair? What would you hand them in order to gain access to the elevator to the rich people?
We could say that we're consultants for the upcoming show to be performed at the Opera House.
Oh, I was just gonna say $20 bill.
Just gonna say $20 bill.
Okay,
Write $20 bill on this like piece of official paperwork. Hand it to him as a bribe.
Okay. Interesting. I will take both of those answers. If you want to go through with this, I am willing to make it work either way.
Where are we in the world?
So right
Like, what
now,
country?
you're in the country of Hale. I'm unfamiliar with the other countries. We're currently in the capital city of New Fair, built on the ruins of Old Fair, which actually, this is the perfect segue for me to take you all over to the map of the side of New Fair. So basically, you're like somewhere in this bowl area, not necessarily the bowl. You could be out on the upper area, but like, while I don't know the exact physical locations of each section, essentially what's happening here on this map is the rich people are definitely at the toppy top. The blue collar workers are here in the middle. You don't want to go down here. Down here is kind of like the dungeon area. Think like, in Waterdeep, right? You have the dungeon of the Mad Mage. So that would be down here. You only venture down here if you're looking for trouble. But yeah, the rich people, it's basically built on this giant arch, and some of the like South Soffit is kind of, if you can imagine an underground city, that's a lot of the vibes here. Your exploration today will bring you kind of to the outskirts of the city, closer to the industrial factories. But for now, you got to basically take a lift up to the eaves, and you'll need a good reason.
Gotcha.
All right. But yes, you said consultants for the upcoming show, and it sounds like Bralef wants for Giles either a $20 bill, whatever the currency is here in this game, or a drawing of a $20 bill.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bribe them.
I see. All right. Well, let me know if
here's our reason.
Let me know if your answers are locked in, and I'll take you over.
I mean, one of these will probably work.
My good man, it seems you have dropped your $20 bill. I don't know what this currency is.
Okay.
Yep, locked in. Let's go.
All right, locked in. Okay, this next map is pretty much, while you will see your tokens here, it's more for vibes, okay? I will admit the vibes of this, like the opening sequence and the map aren't exactly what I'm looking for. This one will hopefully be a little bit more of the vibes I'm looking for as you make your way, you trek through the rain and the fog. You'll like find your tokens on the bottom left, but this map is really just for vibes. Soon you find yourselves at let me see what he called it. The conveyor with periphery guards all over. There's a line of people ready to hop onto the elevator situation. And you are more than welcome to also line up and get ready to present your passage, or your, what is it called? Like your proof of entry, your rites of passage, your tickets, basically. So there's like we'll say there's 3 periphery guards stationed right between you and the conveyor platform. Let me lower this volume for the music a little bit more for myself. And the guard in front will say, "Papers, please."
I love that game.
Me too.
I've never actually played that game.
We'll present our respective papers.
All right.
Consultant for the Opera House, and so this is $20 bill. I think you misplaced this.
Actually, maybe you should present yours first, and then if it doesn't work, I'll try mine.
Okay, so we have Reginald Hammersmith up first. Please present your papers. Give me a little of what you're saying before I ask for a roll.
I'll present myself as professionally as possible and say, "Here are my papers, my good man." I hand him the papers that show we have been hired as consultants at the Opera House.
All right, consultants at the Aventine Opera House. Now, time for the first roll of the session of the one-shots. I'd like to ask you to make me a sway roll, and I will let you know that these are standard stakes rolls. There are a few different kinds of rolls, like stakes-wise, in this game. There's low stakes, like maybe you're like investigating an area that you're allowed to be in. There's like standard stakes. There's like high or deadly stakes. I have to check it again, but that's when like you're like fighting. There's like stakes when you're fighting a mugger in an alley, and then there's stakes when you're like fighting a gigantic like octopus creature at the docks. This one is more in the middle. But yeah, feel free to you'll be doing a sway roll. For those of you at home, I'm going to tell you a little secret. There's at least 1d6 that Coffee will be rolling. This is actually a gilded d6, which means and I guess Coffee has to take this roll, will basically recover a drive point back. And you can use drive, this is more for the people at home than anything, to kind of add d6s to your roll to kind of like shore up your odds beforehand. So would you like to use any of your drive that is under cunning, the category?
Yeah.
Cunning? Okay.
Can I use 1 drive and then I'd be rolling 2d6? Is that right?
That is correct. I'm excited to see how this pans out. 2d6s, one of which will be gilded. If Coffee chooses the gilded die, then they will regenerate a drive for Reginald but there is a chance that the non-gilded die will have the more desirable result. Imagine this. Say the non-gilded die has like a 5 and the gilded die has a 2. That would probably be preferable to take the 5 there. But yeah, feel free to roll your 2 dice. 1 gilded, 1 non-gilded. Let me know if you need assistance with the interface, since this is our first time using Candela Obscura on Roll20.
I got a 4, and I will take that. I'll take the 4 for the mixed success, and I'll take my drive back because that's the gilded die.
All right. Yes, excellent. So basically, you guaranteed your semi-success. So the guard will say, all right, looks good, checks out. But you, what are you here for? And he gazes directly at Giles. But Reginald, you're free to step onto the platform should you so desire.
Same thing. I'm with him.
Later, loser.
All right, Bralef.
It's won my life.
I would like to ask you to make your first. Oh my God! Sorry, I just looked at chat. I looked over at Bralef's sway stats. Maybe this $20 thing is a good idea after all. Could I ask you to make me a standard stakes sway roll?
All right.
As a reminder, Bralef is looking for at least a 4. All right. 5 is a mixed success. Congratulations. Now, I'm assuming you don't want to burn a resistance to try to re-roll both of those dice.
Nope.
All right. Well, here's what happens. The guy looks at you. He looks at the $20 bill. And he'll say, looks good. But there's a new... He kind of rubs his fingers together. For this method of entry, there's a little bit of an extra fee.
What do you mean?
How
much extra?
Okay. It is tricky because I don't want to ask you to. Actually, I guess he'll say, "I'll take anything you've got."
I'll take one of your gear slots.
Joke's on you. That's all I got.
Yeah, it is interesting. If this were more of a, I was tempted to ask for that, especially because you have so many. But, give me just a second. I want to check something.
I love the idea that he's like, "Oh, you're bribing me? Okay, well, you have to bribe me to accept your bribe."
Yeah.
No, it's more like, "Oh, your bribe is not enough."
Mm-hmm.
All right, sorry, let me just check something real quick. I saw a list of things that I didn't expect I would need. Okay, here it is.
Just money.
Ooh, okay. No, I've got it. Aha, okay. Ahem. He says, you know what? You could go through. And he lets you through. But for the audience, the camera pans over where you see that he jots something down and he hands it over to one of his colleagues. And they both look over at you two climbing aboard the platform, make it up to the eaves. But at least you're both on the platform successfully.
I guess we should have killed that guy. Oh well, live and learn.
Well, kill him on the way back. No witnesses.
Let me go ahead and pop out a different song for this new area. Give me just a moment. Let me lower this for my own benefit. Okay. Once again, I'll bring you over to the map. I've got a description to read to you. You find yourselves inside the Aventine Opera House. You gaze out over the open space, seats lined in velvet, red carpeting stretching from wall to wall, with an enormous wooden stage at the very back of the hall. You feel the temperature slowly drop as the enormous hall, not apt for heat retention, continues to empty after another successful performance. You hear some stray conversations throughout the hall, and a few of the musicians remain in the orchestra pit, the sound of a stray horn or violin occasionally punching the air. Let me paste these for both of you, and then I will continue reading a description. It is of little consequence for you to find the true benefactor for your assignment, famed author Krista Vistiella, standing in the very front row of the opera house. Krista Vistiella is a striking woman with beautiful brown hair styled back, reaching just between her shoulder blades. She wears a dark blue dress with white accents, a soft, creamy, brown-colored handbag hanging off of her shoulder. As you approach, she is not surprised to see you, her face ready to get down to business, no nonsense in its expression. As she leans in ever so slightly to address you, she smells faintly of pomegranates and citrus, and she smiles warmly but professionally. Let me paste this description to both of you, and then feel free to move your tokens up towards the front row of the opera. All right. Well, yeah, she's lent in. You can tell that it was kind of like, even though the hall is large and even though it is built in a way that is better for sound, she's like leaning in to be subtle. And she'll say, "Are you here for me?"
Yep.
I believe we all miss.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm sorry I couldn't provide your colleagues the information they seem to be used to. I'm a little bit shaken up and only wanted to confide this information to, well, the both of you. Thank you for coming. And as a quick aside, I want to ask again, because I think I forgot to ask this at the beginning, for those viewing here with us, what is the name of your circle? In Candela Obscura, each team is called like the Circle of Fifths or the Circle of the Cheese Carvers or something like that. What is the name of the circle comprising both of you?
Oh yeah, we forgot to decide on this.
Yeah, next question, please.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, you know what? We'll come back to that. All right. So, yes, she thanks you both for coming. She apologizes for not giving the other people, as part of Candela Obscura, the covert organization that attempts to, investigate all these happenings throughout at least New Fair and beyond. Yes, she thanks you both for coming to her aid, and she'll kind of explain the situation. And she'll say, "There was a fire at my colleague's location. Her name is Charlotte Baskins. She's at this location, and she, reaches into her handbag. She rifles around. You see some writing implements. She pulls out a piece of paper with a red X on it. She'll say, 'Over here.' But in addition to the fire that broke out, she kind of looks around. Ever since the fire, I've been unable to sleep. Been racked with nightmares. I sense a presence behind me at all times. I was wondering if you could go to her house, figure out what's going on, and solve this mystery for little old me."
Sure.
If you don't mind my asking, if you called for our services, in this matter, it seems that there is something a little bit extraordinary going on. Do you happen to know the cause of the fire from your colleague's house?
I'm not exactly sure the cause of the fire, but it must be. Unfortunately, she lives in an area that has not been hooked up to the grid, as the youngins say. She was not able to afford the upgrades, and it's quite likely that it was probably the wood stove or other sources of light and heat that she had to resort to, not being as financially well off.
See. Can you in any way describe this presence that you say you feel behind you at all times?
Oh, yes, of course. I spoke to some of my other colleagues here in the Eves, and I know at least one of them mentions that perhaps the people you're associated with would be able to best handle these matters. I sense this source of heat from corners and alleyways when I'm in places that are less populated. And I also hear scraping sounds. It really gets into my ears and quite unpleasant to hear.
Source of heat around corners and an occasional scraping sound
That's
in
correct.
the distance behind you.
Yes,
I
as
see.
if something is being dragged along walls or the ground. All right. But
But
yeah,
the
go ahead.
scraping sound never seems to get closer.
It does sound
What
like
is
it's getting closer, but whenever I turn around, I never actually see what is there. And it never actually arrives. It's always distant, a few blocks away, nearing ever closer, and never actually getting there. Okay. So you've asked her for what she knows. Anything else you'd like to ask her before I theoretically take you to the next location? You've got your heading, the smooth piece of paper there with the red X.
Sounds like we got everything we need.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, madam. We'll look into this post haste.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you both. I'll be here for. There is another showing that helps take my mind off of things. So if you discover anything, feel free to bring it to me right here.
Sounds good.
All right. So now that we're done there, before I take you all to the next scene, I would like to call for at least a 3-minute break, if that's okay with you both.
Mhm.
All right. Those of you at home, we'll see you all in a bit. All right. Time to resume. Let me swap with the music right here. And let me take you over here real quick. Again, just another background to kind of set the stage. The return. Thank you for the welcome back. So, you have finally arrived at Charlotte's house, half of which remains intact. As a reminder from the hook, the rain had started to fall, allowing there to be some semblance of, well, stuff left. Now, as avid investigators, and as this is your first session, you also know that there is a chance there will be faint traces of bleed. You even hear your Lightkeeper's words echoing in your ears. Be wary of bleed, investigators. Think of it like how Professor Oak says, "Now's not the time to wheel out a bicycle." So just be wary. But you are near Charlotte's house. Would you like to step in? Again, pretty much like not burned to a crisp, as some of it is intact, but enough that you won't be able to just waltz right in. What would you like to do?
I pull out my bike.
Oh, there is a blank gear slot, and joke's on me. Bikes have, I think, been invented by this point in American history. So yeah, American history.
When do we decide what gear we selected, by the way, or should we have done that already?
You do it on the fly. You do it basically when you need it. You're like, out of this, and you pull it out. Think of it like your characters as like investigators would have had the foresight to know, for this assignment, I need to bring this, this, and this. Even if we as people might not know that specifically.
Yeah, it's the exact same system as they used in this brawl.
Hell yeah, love it. All right, I pull out my rocket launcher.
Excellent choice. Where would you like to aim it?
I could literally do that because one of my things is heavy weapon, but I don't.
You can. There's some periphery guards walking around. There's a few unhoused individuals over there warming their hands by fire.
All right.
Prioritize target. Get the homeless.
Sorry, did you say that we can enter the house willy-nilly, or is there something stopping us?
There's like the door, but like door windows. It's like intact enough for my purposes to serve as a potential obstacle.
Okay.
And there's also again the potential invisible obstacle of bleed. Which you gotta look out for, because if this think of it like ghost radiation, like not necessarily from ghosts in general, but paranormal radiation. It can while I'm not fully familiar with the attributes of it, think of it like it can coat things. It can be on the walls, on the floor. It can radiate from enemies. And it is one of the 3 damage types that you or any other aspiring investigators here in the chat would like to be. Like, you can basically take body marks, brain marks, or bleed marks. Body is self-explanatory, physical damage. Brain is also pretty self-explanatory, but a little bit more difficult for me to assign as a light keeper. It's like mental strain and stress. So if you're in being chased for a long period of time, or if there aren't very many examples I have on hand, but it's not physical, more like mental. And then of course not spiritual, but like ethereal, otherworldly, paranormal damage is ghost radiation. So you just want to look out for the ghost radiation when you step in. That's why you might potentially have with you either a bleed detector or a bleed containment vial, which, as a reminder, there are some things perhaps as circle members you should do for sure during your investigation, and there's stuff that your specific subclasses are encouraged to do in an investigation. Like doctors encouraged to help someone. I don't remember off the top of my head what soldiers are supposed to theoretically be encouraged to do on an assignment, and what Reginald's class is supposed to do on an assignment. But they're
Are you referring to the illumination keys?
Yes, thank you.
Cool. Yeah, I barely know what that shit is.
Yeah, it's stuff you're encouraged to do during an assignment in general, help your common fellow or contain a source of bleed, just stuff that will help Candela Obscura in general. And then you've got some class specific ones that, soldier, Bralef might have something like punch someone in the face for all I know, given being a soldier, but I'd have to check that out in a bit.
I have make a scene as one of them, so I've just got to make a fucking ass of myself in public.
Okay. Well, plenty of unhoused people and periphery members around if you want to do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna worry about bleed because ghosts aren't real and that's stupid. So, so you said that there was still there's obvious fire damage, but there was still also a door and windows.
That's correct.
So,
yes.
First question that has to be asked: is the door locked?
Well, I would like to ask you to If you would like to find out, I will. Sorry, let me check what you have in. What do you have in focus?
In focus 1.
Okay. I'm not gonna ask you to make a focus roll, because determining whether it's locked is kind of like a mundane thing to do, and based on the examples I've read in the book, I shouldn't be asking you to make a specific roll for that. I can let you know the answer, but I am going to perhaps tell you, the door is a likely source of bleed. You just like get the strange feel. Your like hair is standing on end on the back of your neck. If you have hair back there, like you want to check if this door is locked, but you're also worried that maybe it's a common entrance and exit for otherworldly entities.
Okay. So I think I'll just assign. So I'll just assign my first piece of gear then. And if my understanding is correct, we get to kind of like make up our own gear a little bit within reason, right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So I am gonna go the easy route for now and say that my first piece of gear. Shut up, Microsoft Edge. My first piece of gear is a bleed detector. Just to make things a little bit easier. Is that okay?
Yes, of course. By all means.
So, I'm gonna the handy little whisper TDM function. I want to test something.
Okay.
1 sec. Bralef, can you see the message I just typed into chat?
Test.
Yeah. Okay. Well, whisper to DM is a lie of a toggle on the character sheets. Lightning, I'm gonna DM.
Yeah,
you
it might just
something
be
on Whisper.
rolls, but yeah, I'll keep a lookout on my messages.
Yeah.
All right. Any follow-up questions? Or
Apparently, my friend Tyler is somewhere in the Twitch chat. Hey, Tyler.
Oh, hi Tyler.
He just DM'd me immediately after I messaged you saying, "Holy fuck, you're on a stream," and I was like, "Huh?" And he responded, Reginald, with a salute emoji.
Nice.
Yep, there he is. Ilsin. Hi, Tyler.
Hello.
So, as a bleed detector, Reginald pulls out. Reginald pulls out a one of those like fancy brass like candlestick holders, with a tiny little loop for a handle, and pulls out a candle and attaches that at the top. Lights a match and lights the candle. And is this Reginald and Giles' first job together?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty flexible either way. I'll defer to you both if you want this to be your first assignment as the Circle of the Murmur, or if you want to have had a little bit more notches on your belt.
The Circle of the Leviathan.
Wait,
I could dig it.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Nice.
So what do you think? You want this to be our first job together? But
Sure.
otherwise, we've walked before. Okay.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
I like that.
Yeah,
Right.
Me too.
Don't mind. Okay then. Don't mind me, guys. Just give me a brief little moment. not sure if you've seen one of these candles before. Fancy little thing. Apparently, this is what the Obscura used to use as a bit of a bleed detector.
Love that.
I can't use any of the new fancier reasons. They don't tend to work that well around me. Keep an eye on the candle. Just want to make sure that I don't miss anything. But if it's near a source of bleed, it flickers a little bit more, makes a tiny little pop. So I'm gonna hold the candle over by the door, see if I detect any bleed.
Yes. Okay. So I know you said that the candle like flickers, makes a little pop. I was wondering, would you be averse to the candle? Basically, the candle light makes bleed visible, and it's only by that candle light. Like other sources of light, like a flashlight, a regular candle held over, or would you just prefer?
Yeah, sure. I'm down with that.
Okay, cool. So you hold the candle, your special candle, over. Back in the old days, very cool, very cool. And you can, based on the light emitted from the candle, you see that there is a copious amount of bleed, kind of like dripping from the door and like off into the streets. It kind of like tapers off into a thinner trail. It kind of looks like, as far as you can tell from candlelight.
Door.
Oh, sorry, what was that about the door?
It's going from the door off into the street. Damn.
Yes. Okay. Right. So you do notice a lot on the door, but I will tell you that both of the windows on either side of the door are bleedless.
And I can see this too, right?
Yes, because I'll say for now, if Coffee's okay with it, because basically the candle. Let me check this message over here. The bleed does look like it's going to subside in a moment. Think of it like it's dripping down the door and it's almost completely off. So if you wait like 15, 20 minutes, you could proceed through as normal. But if you think time is of the essence.
I mean, I'll just try and open one of the windows.
I sent another message.
All right, you're interested in opening one of the windows. While I queue that up in case Reginald wants to do something different, I am curious, are you trying to open a window stealthily or kind of just busting through?
I'll just try and open it normally for now. But if it doesn't open, then I'll think about busting it open.
Okay. But before we let you try to open it normally, Reginald, anything you'd like to do? Or would you like Giles to go first? I'm cool either way.
Yes, I would. There is something I would like to do. Give me one moment. Just want to read up on this. Alright. Yeah, there is something I would like to do then.
Okay. Which I'm good for.
Reginald will take a step back from the door. And he'll say, "Oh, Linda, if you wouldn't mind terribly getting the door, it'd be of great help to us." And I'm going to make a sense roll to try to open the door using my ability Bending Spoons, which they don't have any handy little button for me to just click the ability and paste it in chat, unfortunately.
Oh.
So let's see. Let me just type this up real quick.
How strange. I think there should be... Let me look at Giles' sheet. Huh. I know that Giles' specialty ability can be sent to chat, but Such as having a thing that Roll20 doesn't support. Fair. All right. So, sense roll to control an object in the room with your mind.
Yes. So let's see, what does that say? On mixed success, you may take a bleed mark to make it a full success instead. Okay. All right. So making that sense roll then. Okay.
All right. Let's see what you get.
This one is actually also a gilded, so I'll just spend one drive to get to roll 3d6 for this.
Oh, very nice. And of course, this will be a low stakes roll. Just feel like important for the Lightkeeper to keep their players appraised of, to let them know, oh, I should use this or that beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. All right. Well, assuming you select those dice and not the gilded one, succeed.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with the more than 1/6 for critical success.
Okay. So, in addition to the door opening wide, thanks to the efforts of the colleague involved here, opening that door wide, basically, I don't know how to describe this. You open it wide and all the bleed that was coating the door and the floor and the immediate inside foyer of what's left of Charlotte's house, kind of in that speed, in that strength of opening it, kind of get pushed off to the side. So because originally, even if you open the door, you have to step over some of the bleed that was there. The path is clear, leading all the way inside.
Oh yeah, and from Giles' perspective, after Reginald asked someone named Linda to help out, you'd be able to see this source of because of the light of the candle, you'd be able to see this source of bleed just kind of move forward towards the door, and then the door just kind of opens up on its own.
Who the hell's Linda?
Ah, right. I suppose I should explain. I didn't exactly seek out this line of work. I'm rather possessed as it goes. This ghost, I call her Linda. She seems to enjoy that name. Just kind of possessed me one day and started dragging me along to all kinds of mysteries. Candela Obscura almost forcibly recruited me after I seemed to have gotten in their way a couple too many times.
Huh.
Still, she's nice enough. She helps out when she can. Assuming I don't lean on her too heavily anyway.
Oh, cool. I guess we're in.
Thank you for your help, Linda. Always appreciated.
Yes, the first critical success of the session. Is Coffee using weighted dice? I will neither confirm nor deny these allegations.
Using weighted digital dice.
Impressive. All right. Well, I will go ahead and take you inside and swap over the music. Give me just a moment. I'll do music first. All right. You smell the remnants of a fire on the aged wood that make up the house, on the various remains of clothes and sheets littered throughout the house. There's a wooden stove in the corner. There's a desk, table on one side, chairs, other essentials one might need. This map isn't this page isn't. Oh, sorry, I didn't take you over on the side. Is not fully indicative of. Not accurate. It's not fully accurate, but for my purposes, it sets the scene as best as we can. So, like the stuff that's physically here, we'll make it work. But otherwise, just like imagine a bit of a rundown living area for someone. Half intact, half is not. Yes. I'm sorry, I don't have anything that really jumps out on this particular map or otherwise. But again, let me see, like wooden stove, like kitchen table, straight chairs, writing desk.
Mm-hmm. And said half of it is burnt and half is not.
Yes, but it's not like a. Yes, sorry, I shouldn't answer that one. I shouldn't answer that one anymore. But yeah, half is burnt, half is not.
Is it like random distribution, or is it like the left half of the building is burnt and the right half is not?
It is. All right. I will. Sorry. I think I will ask for a roll here. Normally, this would be the kind of thing you can easily tell at a glance, but because it's kind of a mix, could I ask one of you to make me? Let me check Gyles' sheet. A survey roll.
I'm gonna guess you're better at that than I am.
I don't know. What do you have in it?
Nothing.
Oh, well, I have a 1. So.
As a reminder, you do have. I don't remember what extra drives you have from your drinks, but you do each have an extra drive should you choose to do so. Coffee's is from Reese, and Lux, Bralef's is from Lux. Yeah.
Remind me, can I use one of my drives to boost their roll?
Yes, you can spend one of your drives, I believe, in that category to boost Reginald's roll, should you so desire.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like the help?
Yeah, give me 1 sec. I just want to double check something. Yeah. I guess I'll take 1 drive, if you want.
Yep. I'll burn an intuition drive and give it to you for this roll.
All right. Reginald gets an extra d6 to use for the survey roll that I requested. I appreciate it.
Okay. And on the dice roll UI, would just be under additional dice because I'm not using a drive for my intuition.
I believe so. I will check this other sheet that I have here. Yeah. Looks like just additional die.
Alrighty. I guess I'll go with the 6.
A success? Okay. All right, excellent. So, the fire kind of looks like it started from a particular location and spread out, was unable to consume the entire building before the rain had started. So I'm sure if the rain had not come, it would have basically looked all over, but you are able to tell with your successful survey roll. you can see marks actually from the origination point of the fire, which is not the wooden stove. And in addition to that, you also see some ember creatures fading in and out of existence like small blue wisps behind barrels and other such furniture. They're kind of like peeking out, peeking back in. You see, looks like 3 of them. But yes, you now have an idea of at least the location the fire started. It was closer to the door. I think it like to the left of the door when you're first coming in. And you see these creatures. What else would you all like to do?
Do I also see the creatures?
Yes, sorry, both of think of it like Reginald sees them first, but by doing so kind of allows the whole party to see them.
Would I know if these creatures tend to be hostile, if there's something we should, like, be taken care of?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. Can I ask you to make me a focus roll? The focus roll is, think of it like, the history check in 5th edition. And with a successful one, I will allow you that kind of information, whether you know if they're going to eat your head or if they taste delicious in s'mores, that kind of thing.
What's your focus there?
Nothing.
I will spend one of my drives to assist his focus roll then.
Alright. And then I think I'll spend my last intuition drive to bump it up to a 2 instead of just a 1.
Excellent. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, well, brace yourselves. You get to find out. Okay, so you know that they would only be hostile if you failed the roll to interact with them. These creatures only appear when a gas-based fire occurs, but you see no gas implements around. The stove is wooden. And these creatures only appear when a fire is set with malicious intent.
Ooh. So it was a gas fire that we know was set with malicious intent.
Yeah.
But with regards to the creatures themselves, are they hostile, dangerous? Should we leave them alone?
They
or...
are not hostile. Think of it like only if you poke the bear cub.
Mm-hmm.
They're small fries. They're small fries. They probably won't cause any problems, especially given how well you all have been rolling in here. If you did something like you blundered in here, maybe if you took some bleed marks, they might have been drawn to you. Maybe they'd start attacking you. But you have gotten into this room so unscathed, and they don't really pay you too much mind.
All right, well, I'll share this information with Reginald.
Yes.
Glad you've studied up on these creatures. I've never seen them before.
I just happened to stumble across it. I don't do much reading.
You hear the distant laugh of Inkels, your lightkeeper, say, "Me neither."
So, this is definitely arson.
Evidently. Well, then the next question has to be, who is it that would wish to harm Miss Vistiella's colleague?
Oh yes, let me paste her name in here again, just for your benefit. Her name is Charlotte Baskin.
You could ask her directly, or we could just see if there's any tracks.
There was a source of bleed starting from the door that led down the street. I wonder if there was any similar sources of bleed still here in the house. I'll relight my candle.
Okay.
Look around.
As you relight your candle, could I ask you, or I can ask Giles to do it as basically helped out by your candle. I need someone to give me a successful sense roll.
I mean, I have a 2 in that, and it's a gilded, so I'll happily roll for
All right,
sense.
let's see what you get.
I'm going to save us all a lot of time. All of my intuition skills are at 0.
Yeah.
I see.
God, you put fucking everything into Nov, didn't you?
My cunning is also quite good, actually.
Okay.
I can't hide for shit, but everything else is pretty solid.
I have a pretty even distribution. The only 2 things that I have at 0 are hide and strike.
No.
Okay. Well, then I'll roll a sense roll. I got a 6, and it's my gilded die, so I'll take that.
All right, fantastic. Okay.
Oh wait, no, I didn't have gilded, so I wouldn't get anything back from that crit.
Okay. Now, Reginald, you are a seasoned Candela Obscura member. You know how to handle these candles. And by following the bleed marks, you find like a source within the house. Kind of, remember that point I mentioned near the door? Kind of near there, where when you get to the source point, you smell you smell a citrusy scent. Right by the window.
It smelled like the perfume she was wearing?
Yes. But
I completely missed that she was that the client was wearing citrusy perfume. Interesting.
I mean, anyone could have a pomegranate and citrus perfume, maybe.
Do I smell the pomegranate in the scent?
Maybe.
Is there a signed signature from her saying that she started the fire?
She just dropped her birth certificate by the window.
No, it's a signed book. It's a signed copy of the book that she used as kindling.
Okay. Also,
well, this was an easy one. Let's go kill her and wrap it up.
And just a reminder for my sake, were we aware that she was on the scene? Or is this new information?
So technically that hook at the beginning is only for the people above the table.
Right.
Yeah. But, I mean, still workable information for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. My note just says near the source of the fire there was a citrusy scent by the window that smells similar to Krista Vistelia's perfume.
Okay.
So, I mean, basically, that potentially puts her at the scene here for our characters.
Mm.
Even though we as players obviously know that she was here. But
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do in here before you presumably exit the establishment? And while you do have a potential heading back to Krista Vistela, something might happen when you step outside. But before that does, anything else you want to do in here?
Surely there's more that we can find here. For example,
Mhm.
Krista did tell us that since the night of the fire, she's been hearing a scraping sound that's been following her. Perhaps we can find the source of that. Maybe even if it's something supernatural, something bleed related, maybe we can still find something to do with that.
Good point.
These little ember creatures very well may be the source of heat that she was talking about. On that note, do the ember creatures give off any heat?
That's a good question. The ember creatures do give off a little bit of heat, but it doesn't feel like a super substantial amount of it. It feels like like one of those heat packs that you can crush and keep. Your hand warmers. It's like hand warmer level. But because of your successful sense roll, and this is kind of something that you'd be able to sense by just, waving your the bleed detector around, you see two things. You see some claw marks riddled throughout the house, and you see a trail of bleed leading out. So, because remember how some of it was cleared away, but if you peek outside, you can see that trail of bleed kind of goes in a different direction than, I guess the one you came from, at least.
All right. So out the door, there are two trails of bleed. One that seems to be emanating from the door, and one that seems to be following the path of the claw marks. Is that right?
Yes, one from the door that you sense is the start of the fire, and then one that seems to lead elsewhere and associated with the claw marks.
Gotcha.
Okay. That is again, you got a really good sense roll. You're holding your candle around. Anything else you'd like to do that doesn't involve bleed, or anything you'd like to look through in here?
That I can think of. What about you, Bralef?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay. Excellent. Let me take you all outside. Let me change your map back to here just for a moment. Let me change what chat sees. Okay. When you step outside, you see, a few things that you kind of saw on your way in here, but they kind of are now an active part of the scene. You see let's say you see an unhoused person huddling around a fire within a barrel for warmth. There's a cat next to him. And you see that he is surreptitiously eyeing the patrolling periphery. Once again, the periphery are basically the police people. They're very militaristically inclined, but they also are on the younger side. Basically, there was a war some time ago, but we have all this young blood coming up. And the old people find the war, they're like, rah, 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 but then the young people are like, oh yeah, we're gonna protect this town. We've got all these fancy guns and stuff. They might be a little bit too gung ho about it. So yeah, the periphery, they're patrolling around, and also the ground is coated with mud after the recent rain, making soft squishing noises under your boots. Is there anything in this scene you'd like to take care of? Or anywhere else you'd like to go, perhaps the Claude trail that was mentioned, or back to the Opera House?
Personally, I would like to follow the claw trail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Seems reasonable to me.
Okay.
Well, then I guess we're gonna do that.
All right. Before you do that, one quick thing. You notice also that the periphery, they each have additional notebooks with them. And keen eyes, or at least the camera that the viewers can see that written on them and maybe scribbled on them are physical and visual descriptions of the both of you specifically.
Hmm.
There are a few ways that we can go about this. I can ask you to make a hide roll, of which I know Bralef's character is really good at, to stay away
Mhm.
from the... let's say there's 2 periphery guards right here. You could also punch them in the face. You can make out with them. But they are aware of, well, you two. Not like specifically you two right now, but they're on the lookout for people who look suspiciously and sound suspiciously like you.
Hmm.
Convenient.
Should have paid the guy more money, Bralef. No, I'm just kidding.
Guess so. Should have had a better story for getting in other than here's $20. Look the other way.
Can I try and just play it cool and play it off as if I'm not the person they're looking for?
Oh, I see what you mean. Let me look at your things here. Sway. I would like to ask you to make a sway roll, and then Reginald, I'd like to ask you to, if you want to do the same thing, kind of like play it cool, play it chill, either sway or hide if you just want to not deal with that and kind of like play it safe in that way. Okay.
Mixed success.
Mixed success from Giles. Either sway or hide from Reginald.
I'll take a sway. I'll use a drive to get a second die.
Ooh.
I got a 6, and it's my gilded, so I'll take that 5 back.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so you have a full success. Giles has a mixed success. So Reginald, you're able to escape unscathed for sure. Give me just a moment over here. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just keep it straightforward. And Giles, you are able to successfully escape them, but you sense that they may still be hot on your trail.
Ooh. Gotcha.
Okay. But otherwise, the trail leads you to what appears to be just a few blocks away, a greenhouse of some sort. It's like a glass building inside which you can see plants. I'll tell you right now, I didn't intend on putting any more bleed at the door, so you are more than welcome to step into this establishment if you want. You'll see a plaque on the side that says like garden property of Charlotte Baskins. Would you like to step in?
Yeah, might as well.
All right.
Yep.
Let me go ahead and move your the map over. You will be here, and let me make it visible to chat. I don't think I put your tokens on here yet, but go ahead and put yourselves at the very bottom at the doors. You find yourselves in a spacious garden of some sort. The trail kind of trails off, but you know that, well, this location's important somehow. Oh, let me change the music here then. This map is technically explorable as opposed to most of the other ones, so feel free to move around, look around. At least
Love
until
the idea of
something happens.
I love it being technically explorable. You're allowed to move around, but watch out. Anything of note in the fountain here?
There is nothing of note in the fountain, but you see a sign that basically says, this garden is open to Charlotte's friends and neighbors. Okay. Anything from you, Giles, before I trigger the next portion of the scene?
No, he's just vaguely looking around as he's walking.
Okay. Then, as you all continue to explore the garden, you sense warmth coming from the entrance. And I will go ahead and swap out the music one last time. You also hear a scraping sound. Let me adjust this volume a little bit more for my benefit because it's a little louder. Okay. You hear a scraping sound, and lo and behold, you see visible with or without a bleed detector, a giant wolf who seems to be ethereal in nature, blue and white with glowing eyes, and looks hostile. So it is going to march over here, and it is at this time that while we don't have initiative, I am going to start a countdown die. Let me go ahead and get this on here. It is going to start at 4. And let me start it up here. Okay, so for those of you watching at home, you can see the countdown die on the left. It will basically go down on successes, will not go down on failures, will go more down depending on how good the success is. But the wolf looks ready to attack you all. I will leave the floor to you all, basically. Once again, since I don't make any rolls myself, the prerogative is on you to do anything in particular and hope that you don't fail.
So the scraping sound, is it the sound of the wolf's claws, or?
Yeah, as it walks, very good question. It basically like drags a hand along like the ground, the stone of the fountain.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, let me swap this music out again.
Giles is probably thinking he wants to go on the offensive here. So I think he's going to redeem a piece of gear and pull out, let's say, a sledgehammer. And unless Reginald intervenes, he's probably going to charge at this thing.
No, that seems pretty reasonable.
With the intent to swing.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, and if you're swinging, go ahead and roll me a strike. Let me try to adjust the map so it's zoomed in a little bit more on you. To recap, you'll probably want to mixed successes are fine. Basically, misses like 1, 2, 3 reduce it by 0. Mixed success reduces it by 1. A full success reduces it by 2, and a critical success reduces it by 3. Countdown is set for 4.
Okay. In that case, well, I have a lot of fucking nerve drive, so I'll probably just burn like 2 of those.
Okay.
Let's see.
I imagine you're not hitting the max, but as a reminder to chat and viewers at home, the maximum number of dice you can roll on a single check is, I believe, 6.
Okay. And does my hammer give me any additional?
That's a good question. Your hammer, is that your heavy weapon or your hand weapon?
Whichever one you think would be more appropriate.
I want to say it's probably a hand weapon. I think like
Mhm.
you got the crowbar situation. So it will not grant you additional dice.
Gotcha.
Which I looking now at the countdown I've set and looking now at all the drive that you're spending. Okay. That's all I'll say. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Mixed success, but I'll
It is-
get back one of my
Yes.
drive points
Yeah,
for that.
Did you choose to do it? Obviously, there is the option of spending a resistance if you want to re-roll that, but a mixed success is still fine too.
And spending a resistance means I just don't have their resistance until I otherwise get it back, right?
That's correct, yes. And you would only re-roll the core dice, so you would not re-roll the other two. So you just basically re-roll 2 of the 4. Which I think means you could re-roll the 2 and the 4. But again, resistance is a bit rarer or more rare of a resource.
Yeah, I'm probably fine for now.
Okay. I will go ahead and reduce this to 3. Can you describe basically what you're doing? At least.
Giles comes in with his sledgehammer and tries to do an upward strike, sweep, like dragging it across the ground and going for an upward strike at the wolf spirit, or whatever this is.
Okay. Let me check one more thing.
My understanding of the countdown system is correct. 6s will not reduce the countdown. Anything else will reduce the countdown. And then when the countdown gets to 0, then the wolf does something.
Okay. So the countdown die, basically, you are finished with the encounter when it hits 0. It starts at a value, it's like 3 for a light challenge, 4 to 5 for a moderate challenge, or 6 for a major challenge. And if you get a full success, it reduces by 2 to 0, or like on the way down to 0, right? It decrements by 2. On mixed success, like this one, is reduced by 1, which is why it's at 3 now. So you're like a quarter done with the encounter, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Okay.
And if you multiple success it, it gets reduced by 3. Now, with the mixed success, while Bralef does strike the wolf, it is able to get a good claw at him. So I'm going to attempt to deal 1 body to Bralef's character Giles, unless you want to mitigate that somehow.
Can I redeem a second piece of gear to say that I'm wearing body armor?
Yes, you may. So it basically, you lay into the creature. It does get a good swipe at you given your mixed success, but you foresaw something like this happening, perhaps hearing about the scraping and whatnot. And so you came prepared with body armor, and you can, if I'm understanding correctly, soak that particular body mark.
Sweet.
Okay. Let me snooze this next set of ads. I'll take a turn from Reginald, and then we'll take a quick break after that. I know it is in the middle of combat, but the wolf is bearing down. Reginald, you can tell that, well, Giles can definitely tell the amount of heat coming off of this creature is something.
There's not any like huge restriction on like how far I can move, right?
That's correct, yes. There isn't really a good like measurement system. It's meant to be theater of the mind. So if you want to like run up the wall, backflip, meow, and then shoot it while you're Superman posing or whatever, that you're all more than happy to.
You use the backflip and meow thing a whole lot. It's almost like I know what one of your favorite video games is.
Oh, well, that yeah.
Paper Mario brain rot ass.
Hell yeah.
Most formative memories are from the Glitz Pit.
Amen to that.
I am also going to redeem one of my pieces of gear.
Oh.
Question.
Yeah.
What's the general level of technology that we're walking with here with regards to like firearms?
I'm not exactly sure. I know it's between, the mid 1700s and the mid 1800s, and I know that they've got like I'm so sorry. I really don't know. I just, it's like Industrial Revolution with a splash of steampunk. Yeah. I'll let you take your turn, and then we'll welcome the raiders that just came in.
Woohoo!
Revolution time period.
Welcome in, raiders. Our crew is just fighting this giant wolf. I'll greet you all in a moment.
Okay, well, I'll just ask straight up. Can I have a revolver?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Cool. Okay. Now, honestly, we'll sort out the specifics with that later, I guess. Okay. I am going to attempt to shoot the wolf with my revolver then.
All right, go ahead and roll me control as you attempt to shoot the wolf with a revolver. For chat and the raiders who just came in, thank you so much for the raid. We need Coffee here to roll a 4, 5, or 6 to reduce this countdown timer. Anything below a 4 will not reduce it at all. A 4 or 5 will reduce it by 1, and a 6 will reduce it by 2.
I'm going to spend 1 drive to increase my roll to 2d6. I got a 5. So I got a mixed success.
All right. So you are essentially you want to keep this 5, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have any resistance in that, so I can't reroll that anyway.
All right. In that case, you basically shoot at this creature. It will reduce the countdown by a little bit, which I will do right here, from 3 to 2.
Woohoo.
But there is a little bit of a complication. It basically opens its mouth wide and shoots a ball of fire at you. You will take 1 body mark.
Ow.
Reggie!
All right. Anything else from you before we take a little break over here?
No, that's going to be it for me.
All right. We'll take a quick break and greet our raiders. All right, we are back in business. To recap, the countdown die started at 4, is now down to 2. Guile's got a good hit in on the wolf creature. It emerged unscathed. Reginald has taken 1 body mark so far. As a recap, if you ever take more than 3 of a particular mark, you will take a scar in that particular area and will drop unconscious. So hopefully this won't happen. Either of you, it doesn't have to go back and forth. So if Reginald wants to take another shot right now, you can certainly do so. Or if Giles wants to get this hit in now, you can. It's pretty much just this back and forth is just based on your rolls. The failures and the mixed successes are how I get my shots in. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'll probably just try another hit.
Go for it.
I'll burn some more drives.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, yeah, these are high stakes rolls in case that wasn't immediately apparent.
Makes sense.
Gotta figure, yeah.
Oh my
That would be a
god.
critical success, and I get that drive back. Is that how that works? Or would I just have to... Wait, no, I would only get the drive back if I counted it as a regular success.
No, you'd only get the drive back if you chose the die result from your gilded die, and your gilded die is a 6.
Right. But that would leave me with just a regular success and not a crit.
I think you could choose both. At least that's what we'll go with
okay.
for now.
Okay.
It's a an interesting case. That's a good point. I'll check that later. But to keep things rolling, I will take that. Oh my gosh. So with that out of the way, with that critical success, I said that was reduced by 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you describe how you are basically dissipating most of this creature with your successful strike? Well, at least it wasn't 1 round. It was just 1.5 rounds.
Giles will basically use his sledgehammer like a pole vault and just use it to push himself up and just hit the wolf with an uppercut to the chin and send it flying back.
This bizarre launch was brought to you by getting over it with Bennett Foddy.
Thanks, Dionysus. Is that the guy in the game?
I don't know. Think I played that shit?
Yeah, I like to be happy, so I've not tried it.
I don't hate myself that much. Damn.
All right. With a
Diogenes, that's who it was.
I see. So let me lower this counter down to 0. The countdown die I will now take away. You'll see that's basically most of the wolf does dissipate. A lot of that angry feeling that you can sense from the creature itself will melt away. And in its place, you see but a simple this way. A simple little dog instead. Or like a little wolf cub. He kind of like looks around. Yeah.
I have to ask real quick while I'm still thinking about this. Where did you get the wolf enemy from?
Yeah, of course it was from Genshin Impact, as you correctly have surmised.
Okay. I had a feeling.
Yeah. So yeah, in its wake is just a little cub who's like looking around curiously. And he looks at you, Giles, and he makes a little yelp, a little bark.
This is not what I expected this to tone into. Still, notable improvement, I would say.
Bark.
What, did we bring it with us, or?
I would like to kneel down and try to scratch the little wolf puppy onto its chin.
Okay. For reasons that I am not going to get to, you are allowed to scratch this little wolf puppy. Like, you sense some warmth emanating from it. Ignore the whole... I know there's going to be people watching this like, you can't actually touch that without suffering bleed. I like puppies, all right? So you are able to successfully pet the creature who wags its tail upon you doing so.
All right.
With this, let me see. Is there like a... now. That's like baseline. Could I ask you if you want to make me a sway roll? Anyone who wants to pet the dog, wolf cub, whatever, can make a sway roll, and depending on how well that goes, maybe the dog will growl it and like nibble on your hand, or will lead you to treasure beyond your wildest dream. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't lie like that. Something good might happen.
Sure, I'll try and sway him. Oops. Failure.
Okay. Oh, sorry. In case it wasn't immediately paired, that was a low stakes roll. Okay. So he kind of like nibbles on your hand. Should you?
Well, I guess I did just beat him up, so.
Oh yeah, so he like growls at you. Grr, grr.
Sort of an in-universe question. Is this the kind of thing that would be used with like bleed containment gear?
Let me see if this answers your question. This is technically the kind of creature that you can certainly turn into Candela Obscura as containing a source of bleed. I'm not saying you should cage this poor animal. I'm just telling you perhaps you would get bonus points with your authorities, more of these illumination keys.
Well, do I know what they would do with it?
Okay. This is just.
Do they throw it in the fucking bleed blender and convert it into energy, or is it?
I feel like it just depends. I'm sure some of your colleagues would love to like play with it and have fun, and others of your colleagues might. Maybe you shouldn't let those people take this creature with them. So it depends. I'll just say in case, because this is a one shot, it technically won't matter at the end. I'm sure good endings for everyone. But if this were a long form campaign, I would probably ask you to sway whichever Candela Obscura investigators show up at the scene to collect all the, because all the what's the word I'm looking for, the paperwork and all that random stuff, like carting things away. You don't have to deal with that. Like, people are at your beck and call to do it, so you would have to convince those people to put him in a good hands, basically. Or even with a success, I would allow you to keep the dog.
Gotcha. All right, well, we'll take it with us for now and decide what to do when we get back.
Okay. Before you,
assuming he'll even come with us.
Right. Before you attempt to check off that box, you'll see that okay. You know what? What the thing is, I think. Okay. Here's what I'll say. I'll put down. Obviously, he's growling at Giles because you did beat it up earlier. I want to see if Reginald is going to do anything else role wise before I allow you to pull out the bleed containment unit, and then perhaps engage in roles to coerce the wolf cub into the bleed containment unit.
We didn't collect anything either from the house or from Krista, our client. So I can't think of anything. I would, it's a fucking dog, so naturally I would want to, have the dog, I don't know, smell something so that we could see if it'll, track someone down, but, we don't have anything for it to do. So, don't know.
Okay.
No. Actually,
yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, of course, please do.
Can I roll focus to see if I've ever heard of a thing like this? Because Giles rolled focus to see if he could identify those little ember spirits.
Ooh.
I want to see if I actually identify this to get some information on it.
Yes, please do. This is exciting for me because this was not. This is exciting for me. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I'll take a focus roll.
Cool. I'll just roll this naturally, I guess.
Oh
6.
my god. Okay.
I cannot fail.
Okay. So with this success, damn. On a 1.
I'm not beating the weighted dice allegations.
Tyler, do you see this? Okay.
No, Tyler, don't look at this.
Look at this 6 off a single die. You know what the odds of that are? No, I'm just kidding.
1 in 6.
What? Oh my gosh, you're so good at math. Okay.
Don't know what percentage of that is, though.
Wow. All right, with a successful roll. Now, it's your turn to show up, Giles, because while Giles may not necessarily know this, you, Reginald Hammersmith, are acutely aware that sometimes when people are murdered, their thoughts, hopes, dreams, aspirations manifest in a form that is, based on a few things. It's not always a wolf. Sometimes it's something else, but you can tell based on its behavior and the fact that it has come down to this. Yeah, when people are murdered, people die when they are killed. So when people die from being killed, sometimes their emotions manifest as some sort of spectral entity that can apply bleed and all that stuff. But today, it looks like that has taken this form. In this calm state, where it isn't attacking people or whatnot, attacking Giles or Reginald, you know that it is acutely aware of things that its, I don't want to say its owner, but that its true self, that its owner would have Like, it will be drawn to the same people, to the same things as its owner. Yeah, so that's what you've got to work with here.
So when a person is modeled, their emotions can sometimes manifest as a spirit that will act on those emotions.
Yes, according to today's session, for now,
Okay.
yes. That's not like an in-game. It's like, for the purposes of the one shot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Still, it gives us something to work with here. I mean, this Candela Obscura seems to be the type of game that is just like, yeah, you can make up whatever bullshit about ghosts and spirits you want every session.
Mhm.
Like, oh yeah, sometimes this can happen because it's really convenient for this story. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess I'll explain that to Giles. Seems that what we have here is a spirit manifest from the emotions of someone modeled. So, putting a few things together, it would, given that this seems to be the source of both the source of heat and the scratching sound that our client, Miss, I can never remember her last name, Vistiella, has been experiencing. And she first noticed this on the night of the fire. It would seem that this is most likely all that remains of our victim, Charlotte Baskins.
Shame. Not surprising though.
And if that's the case, this paints a fairly ill picture for our client.
Yeah. I was suspicious as soon as I smelled that perfume.
Note to self.
That's that is
Go ahead.
that seems a fair assessment.
So do we, out of character, do we arrest people? Is that something we do, or how does that?
That's a very good question that I myself had to wrestle with, but the answer is technically no, but I'm sure your Lightkeeper knows someone who could, the proper authorities. I'm sure the proper authorities can get involved.
Candela Obscura is not legally authorized to arrest people as we are not an organization of the law. However, we are permitted to do extrajudicial killings. So it's time to go exact blind justice.
I love
Frontier.
Candela Obscura.
On pain of death, I love Candela Obscura.
Y'all gotta watch you've probably seen this clip on that site that we all use, but someone reposted or reblogged like a clip from Looney Tunes where Daffy Duck's talking about how he just got his cosmetology license, and he's telling Porky Pig, yeah, there's 5 licenses, can't wait to get them all. There's fishing license, driver's license, pilot's license, cosmetology license, and license to kill. I'm really excited for that one.
I don't know that.
Good times. But yeah, I guess, maybe perhaps if you, not to show my hand, I'm sure if you confront her with the evidence, I am sure that she will just break down and cry and say she's sorry.
Like an Ace Attorney. Really?
Right. I say, having not played Ace Attorney.
They don't cry. They have a mental breakdown and destroy their entire life.
Yeah, okay, let's go do that.
All for the entertainment of others. Usually also revealing some physical trait of theirs that they hide for like some comical reveal.
Oh, hold on. You're cooking. Let me write some stuff down.
The dude in the tutorial case who whips off his fucking toupee and just chucks it at you.
I see. Okay. I've got a scene lined up for you, but before we do, I'd like to swing over here and greet our raiders. Okay. So now that we're back and Reginald has basically correctly ascertained the nature of this spirit, anything you'd like to do here? You, yeah, more stuff here, or were you gonna like go somewhere else?
Well, I feel like we've gotten all we're going to get from here.
Yeah.
Okay. With those two answers in mind, sorry, I'm ready to cue this up. So actually, the creature will lead you to. Let me click over here. Well, now that the creature has befriended at least Reginald, will take you all over here to these stairs.
Let me lead you to where my charred husk of a body is buried.
All right, let me take you to the next map. You find yourselves on the left side of the screen as you make your way upstairs to the second floor of this garden as I wait for it to load in for my camera. All right. And the dog will continue to lead you over to this middle area right over here. The dog basically paws at a particular panel that is in the garden. Yeah, pawing at the panel. Panel to paw.
I will lift and or press the panel, whatever,
All right.
however way it goes.
Yes, no roll required. You open and press the panel. It's also not like rigged or trapped or anything like that. You find a slew of documents and journals. And I'm just going to tell you right now, a quick perusal of the documents. You can see that. Let me catch you up here real quick. Charlotte Baskins is also an author. My colleague, Krista Mentz, a fellow author. And you'll see here are multiple like drafts and some, in further along condition than others about a young girl who's taken from her royal family out into the wild, is raised by wolves, and eventually goes back to rightfully claim her throne.
Okay, so this is just straight. So this is like a transcript for a book that is just the book that Krista Vistiella has recently released.
That seems very likely.
Okay, so the options that we have presented to us then are either Miss Charlotte Baskins was attempting to rip off Krista Vistiella, and Krista killed her to prevent her from doing so, or possibly more likely, Ms. Vistiella stole Ms. Charlotte Baskin's idea and killed her to cover it up. Which, frankly, seems a bit more likely to me.
This is why I don't read books.
It's a real shame, too. Linda actually quite liked this book.
Ah.
Well, this is pretty decisive, I'd say.
Is there anything on this transcript that identifies it or like gives a like time reference?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like a name and a date would probably be pretty helpful.
Very good question. They all definitely have names, and let's throw some dates on there as well. Let's date this thing. There'll be dates on there. And they are like old enough that you can pretty much ascertain that, it may indeed be the latter over the former based on Reginald's theory. Whether Charlotte was stealing, it may have been other way around based on when these were dated. All right. The dog wags its tail, looks content, satisfied, as if there is no further panels for it to paw at.
And with that, it can finally move on.
To the laboratories at Candela Obscura.
Yeah. All right, get the blood containment vial.
Okay.
Slam down a haunted dog crate. Get in.
Well, if you all actually want to do that, I am more than happy to get these rolls going. But otherwise, where would you like to go?
I'm getting that paid week off. Get in the crate. I mean, personally, I'm always down for mortal victim gets justice and the ghost just moves on to the afterlife or dies again, whatever. Who cares? Whichever happens. I'm just finishing up my notes real quick.
Yeah, so we probably confront our culprit.
All right, that's one vote for confront, and I know that Coffee is working on the notes. But if there are no objections, I'll probably move you back to the eaves. No need to go back to the... I know that theoretically, I was like, we're on the lookout, and you have to hop on the thing again. I'm just gonna, for the purposes of this one shot, and also because I didn't expect that to affect the pacing, I'm probably just gonna hand wave and take you straight to the opera house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, let me swap out this music.
My vote is also for confronting her.
Thank you. All right. You find yourselves back at the opera house. You should find your... Did I put your tokens on this page? I did. Okay. You should find your tokens at the bottom of the map. Another show has just finished. Conveniently timed for your return because I made it that way. So the same things are pretty much happening. Pay no attention to the audience members that are in the exact same spots that they were for the previous show. These people just, assign seats. That's how things work around here. But yeah, if you would like to go up and talk to Krista, I know she's probably very eager to hear about your results. Perhaps she shouldn't be.
Hop right over this railing.
Nice. Hello, welcome back, investigators. How did your search go?
Pretty fruitful. I think we've more or less, I think we've pretty much figured out what happened. Maybe you can help us connect the dots.
Okay, yes, I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have.
Just to double check, she's still got the same perfume on, the citrusy and pomegranate perfume.
If this were D&D, I would ask you, would you like to make a perception roll and smell and sniff? It does seem as if the scent of her perfume right now does bear many striking similarities to the scent from which the fire originated in the house. But yeah, she can ask the next question unless either of you have something lined up.
Did you want to take it?
I'll start with that. Why don't we alternate? I would say. Well, we were able to determine that the fire at the house was a gas fire that was made with malicious intent. Definitely arson.
In fact, the source of the fire was off to the left of the front door, nowhere near the wood stove, as a matter of fact.
She can't help but furrow her eyebrows a little. She also like adjusts her handbag on her shoulder, and she'll say, "Oh, okay. So someone must have caused. Oh, here, I thought it was an accident. That's horrible. Who could have done such a thing?"
Well, we did pick up a strangely distinct citrusy smell wafting away from the scene of the crime.
Okay. I see.
Couldn't place my finger on it, but it seemed a little familiar.
True. There must be. Sounds like the kind of scent that's common in the eaves, and I'm sure there's a lot of people around here that scent could belong to.
True, there are plenty of people that it could belong to. Though, frankly, it does make the most sense for it to be you. After all, we assume that you knew about the file because you went to visit your colleague Charlotte that night. So it only makes sense that the scent would be from you.
Oh, yeah, I did intend to visit her that night, but then I saw the fire occurring. I called for help. I requested one of the periphery to try to stop it. It was most unfortunate.
Strange then that there won't any periphery over there investigating the file when we went.
No police tape. Nothing.
Well, the people in that area aren't as looked after by members of the periphery, then, like between you and me, they do tend to favor those with more money and more power, such as life here in New Fair.
We also found sorry, after you.
That does just raise even further questions. If it was a member of the elite, as it were, that brought the matter to their attention, you'd think that would add some weight to the crime, to the event. Light a fire under them, as it were, if you pardon the pun.
She isn't sure what to say, so she just shrugs and she says, "So I guess you think I set my friend's home on fire?"
Let's not jump to conclusions here.
You'll also be happy to know that we found the source of that scraping sound that's been bothering you.
Oh yes, I was just about to ask if you had discovered the source of the scraping sound and if I shall no longer be plagued by such things. What have you discovered?
It was a sort of wolf spirit.
Uh-huh.
What was it we discovered about that manor spirit, Reggie?
Please don't call me Reggie. As it turns out, that sort of spirit comes into being when someone is murdered. Their last moments generally spent in fear and anger, and those are powerful emotions, especially through the catalyst of death. And they tend to give birth to angry spirits. So as it turns out, it was one such vengeful spirit seeking revenge or possibly just justice.
But now, why would that spirit be bothering you in particular?
Vengeful spirits? Oh, you Candela Obscura investigators just making stuff up. I heard Lightning 45 minutes ago. He could just come up with whatever he wants. Y'all just coming up with things.
I reach over to her computer and I close her tab that has the Twitch stream open.
No stream sniping, Krista.
No stream sniping. Well, we followed the trail. As it turns out, the spirit was also leaving claw marks while it was making all those scraping sounds. We followed the trail that caused, and it went all the way back to a local greenhouse, of all things. Greenhouse owned by your friend and colleague, no less, Charlotte Baskins.
She looks very
That's
confused.
That's where we ultimately ended up getting confronted by, really, the spirit.
I did not know of such a place. And I am, of course, happy to see that looks like you've both escaped from that nightmare haunting me, that creature, unscathed.
For the most part.
Like Reggie's hair is still on fire or something.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So she had another place, and I'm sure there you found something. What did you find?
Would you like to go next, Giles, or shall I? If
Please
I
don't
go,
call me
I'll probably
Giles.
just wrap it up. What was that?
Please don't call me Giles.
Oh, sorry.
You walked right into that one. I don't know what you expected.
Expect you to name your characters correctly. Anyway, do you want to go or shall I? If I go, I'm probably just gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, go for it. Take it away.
Okay.
Reginald.
Thank you. Well, that, as we mentioned, is where we had our confrontation with the vengeful wolf spirit. And Giles here managed to get the better of it, and wouldn't you believe it, after a thorough thrashing, it, I guess, sort of cleared its mind and reduced itself to the size of a small puppy. Led us on a little bit of a chase through the greenhouse, where we found a loose floor panel, under which he produces the transcripts. We found these interesting little transcripts. As you know, of course, Charlotte was an author herself. Couldn't help but be a little curious, so we went reading through the transcripts. A very interesting read. Hold on, did I write down the book? No, I did not. About a young girl whipped from her family of nobles, raised off in the woods until she made her triumphant return and claimed her throne. Eerily similar, one might say, to your recent book, if I'm not mistaken. I've read it myself. I loved it, so I couldn't help but notice the similarities between your book and the transcript. Funny, though, the transcript, all, of course, signed by Charlotte, gotta keep those sorts of things clear, also dated for well before the release of your book. Normally, I would have assumed, of course, that Charlotte was just trying to write a knockoff of your already successful novel, though that's clearly impossible given how much earlier the transcripts were written. So we couldn't help but come to the conclusion that it seems much more likely that You have been ripping off your colleague Charlotte for some time and had to get rid of her after your successful release of your book. And what better way to do that than an accidental fire that anyone could simply blame on her, on the primitive wood stove in her house? All the better if it were to, say, burn all of her transcripts to hide any possible evidence. It's just a shame that you didn't know about her greenhouse, where she evidently stored her transcripts for safekeeping.
It is when you say that last line, like, like it's a shame you didn't know, that I need to ask you to hopefully succeed on 2 high stakes move rolls subsequently to each other. Let me change the music here real quick. So with that first line, she will lunge at you with an attempt to grab the transcripts. I'd like to ask you to make a successful move roll
Okay.
to dodge out of the way, unless you want to, I don't know, sock her in the face with a strike to try to stop her. But the thing I'm defaulting to here is asking you for a move roll.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I will attempt to do the move roll. I'm slightly better at that.
Yeah. All right. Feel free
I'm gonna
to do so.
So you need me to succeed on 2 of these? You said?
Yes, 2 in a row. They are defaulted as move rolls, but again, if the second one, when I describe the second one, you might want to do something different for that, if that makes sense. But for now, she's gonna lunge at you and try to grab the transcripts.
Okay. I will. So I do have a 1 in move, so I'm gonna use my last nerve drive to bring that up to a 2.
I'll give you one as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
got
works. I can imagine that as like Giles maybe trying to pull you out of the way.
Yeah.
Works for me.
And also, as a reminder, you do each have 1 from chat. You also have a resistance, as this move roll has. I assume you have a resistance, unless you...
I do not. I don't. No, I have 1 resistance in cunning, and I have 1 resistance in intuition.
I should have...
But I don't have anything in nerve.
Oh, I should have made the blesses. Instead of drives, I should have let them be resistances. Okay.
All right. Well, so bad news. I did get a failure on that.
Okay.
Good news, sort of. So this is the first time this has come up. Our little team, our
yes.
circle ability is in this together. When you spend a drive to help an ally on a roll, which Bralef just did,
Yes.
on a result of 3 or less, you both earn back 1 drive.
Hey.
Hmm.
So I'll just put that
Okay.
drive back into nerve.
All right.
I will as well.
Sounds good. Now, this is technically unprecedented to the fact that I shouldn't be allowing you to do this, but you are a medium. She is going to successfully grab the transcripts away from you. Would you, before that second roll that I told you about, would you like to medium them back, I guess?
Yeah, definitely. That's basically what I was going to end up doing next anyway.
Okay. So we'll cue this in before that second move roll I need from you. She is like, her eyes look rabid. She lunges at you. Giles tries to pull you away with the transcripts in tow, but it is not fully successful. But as a medium, you are capable of using your bending spoons specialty ability. Let's see how that goes. We'll need a sense roll from you, a successful, or more than 1 6, of course. And then if it is a 4 or a 5, you could make it a full success at a cost.
Yeah. I will roll a sense. I'm gonna actually add 2 drives to it just to roll 4 dice.
Ooh. Okay.
Nice.
Because I've got 3, so why not? 4 and 5 are equal, right?
Yep.
Yes, they're pretty much equal.
So I'll take the 4. So I got a mixed success. Oh, but I can take a...
Yeah, you can take a bleed mark to make it a full success if you so desire.
Out of curiosity, in this instance,
Mhm.
do I still pick a die and then just take a bleed mark to just upgrade that die to a 6?
I think so. That's what I'm understanding from the.
Okay. So then
You-
I'll take the 4 as my result. So it's a gilded die, so I'll get my drive back. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
And then I'll take 1 bleed mark
All
to
right.
make a full success.
All right. The second mark on your character.
Yep.
It is a full success. So, can you describe how she like has the transcript in her clutches? She has this look on her face, like, oh, thank God, I grabbed it. What is happening now? They'll turn that face crestfallen. What's happening?
So, she successfully grabs hold of the transcript. Let's see. I'm gonna send you a message real quick. I
Okay.
want to ask you.
I have it up.
Cool. All right. So, so she'll grab the transcript, and then probably tone away to try to keep it out of our hands. And right as she is feeling right as she's feeling good about herself, there is a sudden chill that runs up her spine as all of her muscles just kind of go stiff, and she seems to just lose control of her own body. And she just kind of tones back. She just kind of very awkwardly tones back around and, awkwardly and stiffly tosses the transcript to Giles. As Linda, the ghost, flies from Reginald into her body, possessing her.
All right. Very nice. Congratulations on retrieving the transcript. I imagine that after she leaves Krista's body, there's this look of incredulity on her face, so of shock of what's the thing that I was feeling the other day, like where you're pretending you can't realize something's real. What's like she just doesn't believe it's real at first until the realization dawns on her, and she does the next quick jerk motion in response that we'll get to after one actual last break that I'll have to ask from you both before we actually get going with what's going on with her. Another 3-minute break.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me head over here. All right, we've returned. Excellent work. As a reminder, before we get started with this next section, you still have the 2 drives available for each of you from chat. You were able to successfully retrieve the transcript again. Tech says, let's go. And also earlier, you got this fan right when the rolls had started happening. So after looking at you both with incredulity, she reaches into her handbag, pulls out a perfume bottle, pulls the trigger, shoots it at you. You see a stream of flame heading your way. This is a high stakes move roll that I'd like to ask Reginald to make.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll use my remaining drive from Nov, and I'll use my extra drive from chat. Thanks, Reese. You're the real one. Uh, yeah, I guess I'll roll that. Let's see what I get. I got a 5. Mixed success.
Okay, that is pretty good. You are, I'm assuming you don't have any, right? You didn't have resistances for this particular area?
Nope.
Okay. With the mixed success, you are able to escape mostly unscathed. You will take 1 body mark of fire damage again.
Always the fire on this one.
Actually, yeah, I didn't mean to. I was gonna have the wolf jump over and graze you, but I realized, wait a minute, it's a fiery wolf. I'm sure it could just. I guess this is how the cookie crumbles. It's at this point that everything, the air in the room feels very different. Let me make sure the map is. Let me zoom out just a little. You do feel it getting a little colder in here.
That's weird.
Ah, the colors are cooler.
You see emerging from right, like from the stage up there is another wolf. And it is at this point I am going to set a countdown die. It has just popped up on stream. I'm setting this one for 4 as the wolf has made its way towards you and it looks ready to strike at Krista's command. I'm going to go ahead with another song.
Inside you, there are 2 wolves.
All right. The wolf seems to move at Krista's command. She has pointed at you two, marking you for death.
Given that she appears to be commanding it, would attacking her also seem to prove valuable?
That is a good question. You can give me a what would this be? Your choice of read or focus, and I feel like you'd probably take the read.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll ask you for a read.
Mixed success.
A mixed success. Okay. I will tell you that you sense that while attacking her is a good play, the wolf will probably still act on its own volition. And as far as your mixed success is concerned, it does seem to be looking at you first.
Fair. Well, for now anyway, Giles will charge her and basically try and take her down to the ground.
All right. Go and give me, I believe, a strike for that.
Sure. I'll use a drive for this.
Oh my gosh,
I'll
a success.
I'll just take the success, yeah.
All right. I feel like I do need initiative rolls in here. So I will probably... No, I think it's supposed to be just you two doing things. I'll go with that for now. I like having that idea of having you all do move rolls, but we'll just stick with how the last combat went. All right. You successfully pin her to the ground. Which is good for reasons I can't get into. Anything else you'd like to do before we take it over to Reginald?
Nope, that's it.
Oh, and a success, I think, docks this by... sorry, what did I say? It was 2.
I think it was 2 last time.
All right, let me adjust this then. Okay. The countdown die, which was originally 4, is now set to 2. So let me mark this in here for you all as well. It's also marked for chat on screen. Reginald, you see that Giles, or Giles, depending on what was said 30 minutes ago, has just pinned Krista to the ground. You see the wolf is lusting hungrily after Giles. What would you like to do?
Hot. Anyway. Let's see. Well, I guess I'll just go with the tried and true. I will shoot at the wolf.
All right.
Walk up to Krista and execute her.
Go ahead and give me that control roll. That control. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Gotta roll that straight. I got a 1.
Oh. And it's that section that you don't have resistance for, correct?
Correct.
All right, let me look at something here real quick. All right. You said you had a revolver, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, you take aim at this creature, and you fought wolf creatures before, so you feel confident in your abilities to strike this thing. But as your aim holds steady and you shoot at this thing, it kind of like disperses around the bullet, and it shoots. While the other creature shot fire, this one will shoot a darker sort of energy at you, and you will take 1 bleed mark from that.
Oh, that smarts. But at least it's nice to have some variety.
Very true. All right, anything else from you before we take it back over to Giles?
No, I think that's it for me.
All right, Giles, you are up. You have successfully pinned Krista down. I'm sure she won't be shooting her eau de Molotov at you, as Ida has named it. What would you like to do now? The countdown die is at 2. You'll need either a full success or 2 mixed successes.
Or crit.
Or a crit, of course, yes.
I am going to just try and further incapacitate her.
Yeah.
Knocking her out if necessary, but basically just
Damn.
physically, basically at this point, I think I'll try and wrestle the weapon out of her hands.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'd ask you to make some other rolls, but it sounds like strike is probably still going to be it's still going to be on that list of 3 options I provide to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll go and strike, and I'll add. What the hell? I'll add 2. No, I'll add 1 drive, and then I'll add my bonus drive that I've been sitting on.
Yes, the drive from chat. All right, I'll go ahead and redeem that. Oh my gosh.
I'm glad I did.
Very nice.
Critical success!
So like we said before, a full success would have brought it down, but also a critical success would have pulled it out. And you were trying to wrestle the perfume bottle out of her hand?
Yeah, and otherwise just keep her incapacitated.
Okay, yeah, you're able to do both. You wrestle it out of her hand, you knock it far away so she can't grab it, even if you all do a mixed success on a future roll. And she looks like she won't be doing any harm to you all in the near future. So I will go ahead and dock this countdown roll to 0, but something new that will be new to you both is that countdown dice can have phases. So while I will subtract from the die to make it 0, we have started a new phase, so I'll go ahead and put down a new countdown die up here, as the creature basically will kind of leap over and assume surround her in her form. Let me move this to the back. Kind of her arms are in place, and that's where the wolf's leg is gonna be. So it's in this theoretically incapacitated form, but it's kind of bulging out because of its larger size. So you're very close to this thing, and you did do the last roll. So we'll figure out how things go. Obviously, I'm not gonna inflict bleed on you or anything for the phase change, at least not anytime soon, and not this session. But Reginald, you are up. And let me change the music one more time.
Well. And Giles did successfully yank the flamethrower out of her hand, right?
Yes, it is. She can't even reach it. It's too far away.
Okay.
I'm gonna try a different track. But yeah, I'll let you choose your turn while I pick up something else.
What's the ceiling look like in this room?
It's pretty high up. I'm not exactly sure what it's like, but I'm gonna say it's kind of decorative. Think like one of those chapels that people like to like paint paintings on top of. So there's like stuff up there, but also if you need it, there is like stage equipment. Think, like Paper Mario stuff that could like theoretically swing down if you need it. I'm not sure what you're looking for, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Could I use bending spoons to have my ghost partner like throw some stage equipment from the ceiling onto the wolf thing?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I mean this affectionately, but random bullshit go.
Yeah. Okay. I can live with that. So I'll do that. I'll call out to Linda and ask her to help out with this a little bit. And one of the stage lights from the stage is gonna start like shaking and hopefully launch itself over at the wolf.
All right, let's see that success.
I'm gonna roll sense and I'll add a drive to it. I'm gonna take that 6.
All right, a very nice success. And that means the countdown die goes from 6 to 4. Can you describe just how this pelting is going? It's a full success, so there aren't any consequences for your actions. Have at it.
Basically, it essentially looks like it's just a stage light shakes loose from its from whatever is holding it up to the flaming, I guess. I don't know the technical terms for that. I'm not a theater kid. And it just kind of like flies in a straight line, colliding with the side of the wolf.
All right. You see that the wolf and potentially Krista have taken damage from that attack. Anything else before we take it back over to Giles?
Yeah, I'm gonna move over here.
True. Please do so.
And that's gonna be it.
All right. Next up is Giles. You are within spitting distance, even licking distance from this giant wolf that has like merged with Krista at its center. What would you like to do? And I do recommend perhaps moving away as well. Well, you do seem to be a close combat kind of fighter, but
nah. Guy was gonna say, "Oh here, let me get that for you." He's gonna pick up the light that just crashed onto the wolf and just start hitting him with it.
All right, give me another strike.
Let's see. What the hell? I'll add another. I want to add 2. Yeah, fuck it. I'll add 2. Success, and I guess I'll take one of those back.
A success on your gilded die. Very nice. Okay. So that is another 2 detrimented. So I'll move this from 4 to 2. Yeah, and you're able to like, even though there's a wave of bleed energy coming your way, you're kind of able to keep it at bay thanks to the light that was thrown your way. Very nice. All right. Anything else?
Oh, yours, Reginald.
Damn, I need some failures here, y'all. Wolf ain't gonna do it.
No, you don't.
All right, Reginald, you are up.
I love this system.
All right. Someone's last leg, so I'll go ahead and let me swap out this music one more time. We'll try this one. All right. To recap for the class, this is the same position that we were in about 15 minutes ago. There's a full success will bring this wolf creature to its knees. A critical success will do the same. 2 mixed successes are capable of doing the same. What a failure will not lower this counter anymore.
You said that there were paintings on the wall?
Think of it like, or paintings on the ceiling. You know how in some religious facilities they
okay.
like to paint the ceiling? It's like that.
Gotcha.
This music is too happy for my liking. Let me swap this out again. There we go. That's more like it. Okay. I ran out of... yeah, go ahead.
I would like to use bending spoons again to have Linda grab this tuba from over here and shove it onto the wolf's head.
Nice. Okay. Let's see that bending spoons sense roll. And yeah, it's basically like a mural on the ceiling.
Okay. All right. I'm going to use my last intuition drive. And I got a critical success.
Let's go!
Oh my god. All right. Yes. You were grabbing that tuba. You basically... do you want to describe it, actually? It would shove onto both the wolf's head and also Krista's head.
Mm-hmm. So Reginald calls for Linda to hit it with that, to grab that tuba. Linda flies over, grabs the tuba, shoves it onto the wolf and Krista's head, and while it is lodged onto their head, Reginald runs over and just blows into the tuba as hard as he can.
Incredible.
The most discordant note he can manage.
Beautiful. All right, and with that discordant note, the sound like ripples through the wolf, kind of shattering it instantly, leaving only the unconscious Krista with tuba on her head lying on the ground, coated in what appears to be some bleed. So we know that will possibly cause some lasting damage to her. But otherwise, I will declare you all victorious. It's my victory music. Somewhere around here. Here we go. Oh, hey, doesn't this sound like a... Actually, I'm not going to say what kind of instrument this is. Yeah, if you told me that the Candela Obscura fight was going to be finished off with like a discordant tuba sound, I would not have believed you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me put this countdown down.
Bralef, I wouldn't have been surprised to hear that Bralef would do that.
That's actually fair. You know what? I rescind my previous comment. That's peak Bralef core right there. Yes, they were bold as brass. No one thought you were gonna blow it. Yeah. So as the air returns to normal, let me go ahead and put this map back. The ominous green hue has gone away. Oh yeah, let me get this wolf out of here. And the next scene that you all see, you know, let me pull this up over here. You are basically, this is a little bit more theater than mine because I don't have the tokens here at the ready, but you are basically surrounded by your fellow Candela Obscura investigators as they like mop up the situation. You know, you see that they are cleaning off any residual bleed that might have contaminated the area. All the people who, I guess, ran away, I forgot to put the tokens away. People would have run away from this fight, so ignore these other NPCs that are here. But, of course, you can tell that there are periphery agents standing outside eager to get in, but they're being held at bay by some of the other people that you know are undercover Candela Obscura agents. And actually, it is at this time that you see your Lightkeeper, Kels, off to the side. And he'll kind of stroll up. Sorry, he would have come from the entrance. And he'll say, well, good work, investigators. Tell me, what, I could have heard the summary from one of the other agents, but I'd rather hear it from the source themselves. Tell me, what transpired and who do we have here?
Well, The person who hired us for this job was the murderer all along.
Murderer?
Also, this was a model.
It was. Oh! I mean, yes, as I correctly ascertained. Oh, this was too sad. Let me change this out. I have a different track in mind. Hold on. I have this ready. Okay.
She had a bizarre device that looks like a perfume bottle that's somehow actually a flamethrower.
I'll point it out on the ground.
Oh, interesting.
Seems she used that to set fire to the victim's house. The whole thing was an incredibly petty affair. Seems Ms. Krista here is not as accomplished of an author as she wants people to believe. Turns out she's been stealing the stories from our victim.
Oh. See, this is why I don't read.
The whole thing was just a petty killing and cover-up. Oddly enough, though, she seems to have found a way to weaponize some kind of monstrous wolf spirit to help defend her.
Interesting. Just like in that book of hers that I didn't read. Definitely not. We'll have to, perhaps when the periphery are done in interrogating her, perhaps we'll need to do a little interrogation ourselves. See how she was able to control this entity. And also, I'm sure that back at HQ, they would love to take a look at this Eau de Molotov. Just how she was able to take the perfume bottle and give it flame-throwing capabilities. Oh, no worries, dear bystander. As their lightkeeper was the original quest giver, they will be getting paid as normal. Speaking of, I've got a few questions for you folks before we really wrap things up. So, did you contain or destroy a source of bleed? Normally we do this back at headquarters, but we are pressed for time. They're going to come in any moment, the periphery, and I called in some favors to keep them out, as this is technically going to be an active crime scene. But yes, did you contain or destroy a source of bleed?
Did we take the dog?
No, it's not here with us, so I'm not sure what we did. But regardless, we can still presumably say that we destroyed a source of bleed because we still killed this lady's dog.
True.
Okay.
Either way, yes.
I'll mark that down. Congratulations. That is one illumination question act correctly. Did you provide comfort or support for those affected by a phenomenon?
Technically, if you count the first dog, we did provide comfort and support to that false dog after we beat the shit out of it. We got it closure.
Oh. I see. Yeah. And I was going to queue up the scene for after these questions, and I originally was going to mark you down for no because I didn't interact with the people that were in the present, but present near the house. But I mean, not that I would know that because I'm an NPC, but yes. What's that over there? And you look, and now that the evil is defeated, you see in the doorway, the dog with its tail wagging happily, and kind of it comes up to you, but none of the other Candela Obscura members notice it, not even Incels. But sorry, ignore the fact it kind of runs up to you, and it licks you both on the cheek, and then it fades out of existence. And Inkels chimes in with, you know what? For some strange reason, I feel like saying, yes, you did provide comfort or support for those affected by a phenomenon, and this is just a one-shot, so yeah, it's fine. Next up, did you bring something of importance back for Candela Obscura to protect or study?
This dog carried our entire XP load for the...
I mean, there's still the flamethrower perfume. Does that not count?
Yes, yeah, also yes. But it's funnier if we just pretend the dog is earning us like 5 different Candela points.
No, the dog fading out of existence means it's not eligible to be something of importance back.
Yeah, all right.
The flamethrower, especially because you did knock it away with a, I don't remember if it was a full success or critical success. And of course, this lady, she kind of counts. So sure, we'll mark you off that there too. All right, you there. You look to be a soldier just like I was back in my day. Did you use violence of action, protect someone, violence of action, or act tactically? Did I say violence of action twice? Sorry, old habits die hard.
Yes, and yes.
Oh, excellent. All right, and you there. Did you connect with someone, sense phenomena, or make a scene?
I define sense phenomena.
I'd say...
I used the bleed detector to find plenty of bleed.
Yes, and you rolled well on some of the sense rolls as well, so I'm inclined to give it to you. And hey, it's a one-shot.
Also, blasting that tuba counts as causing a scene, I think.
I like the cut of your jib. That's really good, actually.
Works for me.
Works for me. All right, because every player fulfilled at least one illumination key, and for every illumination question you were said yes to, 4, 5, 6, something all. Sorry, give me a second. Earn 4 of every player at least one illumination key. Okay. Oh my gosh, what is this? Give me a moment. I gotta understand page 55 of this book. I think you get 7 points. Because it's 1 for each illumination question you answered yes to, which was contain or destroy a source of bleed, provide comfort and support, or bring back something of importance. And then because every player fulfilled at least 1 illumination key, I think you get 4 more. So, congratulations on 7, which means I wasn't expecting this to happen, but you hit a thing.
Milestone?
I think so. Sorry, I actually didn't expect this to happen because it was a one-shot. But yes, yeah, it's like a threshold. There's like 3 thresholds on this illumination circle. And yes, it does sound like their plans were orchestrated well. Well, I guess we can figure this out down the line. I think you all get stuff. It'll be nice. We can wrap things up. Anything else you want to ask? I'm still doing the voice. Anything else you want to ask Incals? Or say to the dog before it fades out of existence, like retroactively? Or to Krista, even though she's unconscious, for my convenience and benefit?
If you can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen.
Oh, except it wasn't a kitchen. Yeah!
That was stupid.
Yes. Roll credits.
All right. Yeah, I guess I will hold off on any circle stuff just because I need a little bit more minute to digest it. All right. Any last words before we put the screen back over?
I think we're good.
Yep.
All right. Let me put this right over here. Back in business. Y'all did great. Thank you, Ida. I appreciate you hanging out this whole time. I had a lot of fun running this for y'all, and you all did great. Agreed.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. Any last words for the people watching the YouTube VOD in the future before I take us to the chatting screen?
Repeat that.
Oh, do you want to say anything else to YouTube people before we go to the chatting screen?
I think I'm good.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
There.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We appreciate you from the past.
Appreciate the raids.
Ooh. Yeah. Appreciate those too. Okay. Let me swing over there. I'll be right back.